What do you think, in principle, Mr. Secretary, about the idea of the United States working in parallel, at some point down the road, with China to seek a stable outcome here?
In principle, there's nothing wrong with that. If we have a country, whether it's China or other countries that have significant influence, that are prepared to pursue a just and durable peace, and I'll come back to what that means in a minute, we would welcome that. And it's certainly possible that China would have a role to play in that effort. And that could be very beneficial. There were elements in the plan that China put out, things that actually it had said, and many others had said for some time, that were positive. But it has to begin with a couple of things. First, a clear understanding that in this instance, there's a victim and there's an aggressor. There's no moral equivalence between the two positions. And I have to say, until recently, it was very unclear whether China accepted that basic principle. I'm still not sure that they do, but at least President Xi has now had a conversation with President Zelensky. That's a positive thing because it's vitally important that China and other countries that have been seeking to advance peace hear from the victim, not just the aggressor. Second, any peace really has to be both just and durable. And what do I mean by that? Just in the sense that it has to basically reflect the principles that are at the heart of the United Nations Charter when it comes to territorial integrity, when it comes to sovereignty. It can't ratify what Russia has done, which is the seizure of so much of Ukraine's territory. And it needs to be durable in the sense that we don't want this to land in a place where Russia can simply rest, refit, and reattack 6 months later or a year later. So we have to look at all of that. But as a matter of principle, countries, particularly countries with significant influence like China, if they're willing to play a positive role in trying to bring peace, that would be a good thing. But it starts fundamentally with Vladimir Putin actually making that fundamental decision. We've not seen that yet. There's zero evidence that Russia is prepared to engage in meaningful diplomacy. To the contrary, we've seen the horrific onslaught just in the past week, again, on civilian targets in Ukraine. We saw the horrific story of a father in an apartment building who, after this attack, opened the door of his children's room to find that it's gone. And they're gone. So there has to be some profound change in Mr. Putin's mind and in Russia's mind to engage in meaningful diplomacy.